Anthony Smith doesn't believe Magomed Ankalaev is Alex Pereira's toughest test at 205 pounds. Instead, he argues that Khalil Rountree presents a more dangerous challenge due to his explosive and unpredictable striking style. Smith acknowledges that Ankalaev has a different skill set than Pereira's past opponents, but points out that he doesn't fully utilize it. While Ankalaev has some wrestling ability, Smith notes that he only resorted to takedowns against Jan Blachowicz out of desperation when his legs were compromised. Smith believes Ankalaev won't be able to outmatch Pereira in the leg kick battle. However, what makes Rountree a greater threat in Smith's eyes is his creativity and explosiveness on the feet. Unlike Ankalaev, who relies on a fundamentally sound but predictable striking approach with jabs, hooks, and basic combinations, Rountree is far less conventional. His unpredictability, coupled with his power, could pose a far more dangerous challenge for Pereira than Ankalaev's structured and methodical striking. With his dynamic offense and willingness to take risks, Rountree has the potential to force Pereira into uncomfortable exchanges where his usual precision may not be as effective.
He has a different set of skill sets, or he has a different skill set compared to the other guys, but he doesn't really use it. He only really shot in the Jan Blachowicz fight because he had no legs left. And he says he's not going to wrestle. I have no reason to not believe him. You know, he says that he thinks he can strike with him. So I think that a guy like Khalil Rountree is a more difficult challenge for Pereira. And let me explain to you guys why. Because here we go. Here comes the people saying I'm fucking crazy. Magomed Ankalaev is basic. He's a very simple fighter. And I don't mean that's not meaning he's not very good. That's not me saying that he's not extremely effective. He's very, very effective at what he does. But he's very basic. It's ones and twos and threes. The occasional front kick up the middle, the occasional head kick. But for the most part, it's jabs, hooks, and crosses, and he's very fundamentally sound. He's hard to get to because his hands are always in the right spot. He's never really out of position. He really does do everything right. But he's predictable.
Ilia Topuria's manager, Malki Kawa, recently broke his silence on the fighter's move to lightweight, subtly hinting that Dana White has given the green light for El Matador to fight for the title. The manager pointed out that throughout their discussions, no one has told them that Ilia wouldn't be allowed to fight for the title. He mentioned that there hasn't been any statement blocking that opportunity, implying that Dana has already given them the green light for the fight. The manager further stated that it wouldn't make sense for the promotion to let Topuria fight anyone else while he's still holding his belt. He emphasized that this fight, particularly with his knockout power, could be one of the biggest the UFC could make right now, second only to a Jones versus Aspinall matchup. He believes that the Georgian has the potential to become a huge star in the sport, possibly reaching the level of fame that Conor McGregor achieved. The manager ended by saying that negotiations are ongoing, and if everyone involved is on board, the fight will happen. Though for now, the details are still being worked out. It's clear that the manager's comments hint Dana White has given Topuria the green light to move forward with his title ambitions, with a potential showdown on the horizon for this summer.
To do something, and we don't just jump from here to there without like having the conversations and certain things. So no one told us that we couldn't fight for the title. And to this day, no one has said that you're not fighting for the title. So, you know, that I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there out of respect to everybody else on the other side and what they're trying to do. No one's told me, no, this is not happening. Let me just put it to you like that. Well, I don't know if it even makes sense for them as a promotion to allow him to fight anybody else when he's a champion. And if we're being honest, this is probably the biggest fight you can make right now outside of Bones versus Aspinall. So, you know, I think here's what the fear is for a lot of people is that what if he does beat Islam, right? Then you're talking about this is the biggest star in the sport at that point. In a long, long time. We sit in negotiations all day long and we talk about things all day long, right? Everybody that's involved in anything to do with any of this stuff wants all these fights to happen, right? I'll just leave it at that. And if the answer to everybody else is yes, those certain things happen, then yes, the fight will happen.
In an interview with the Mac Life, Justin Gaethje opened up about why he accepted a short notice fight against Rafael Fiziev. After suffering a knockout loss in his previous fight, Justin is eager to get back in the cage and make up for that defeat. He's determined to redeem himself and noted that every opponent in the division is dangerous. After considering his options, he realized that Fiziev was the best choice for his comeback. The highlight had hoped for a fight with Charles Oliveira or Arman Tsarukyan, but he understood why those fighters would avoid facing him at the moment. He also mentioned that Moicano had stepped up to fight him, but ultimately the Brazilian backed out. With all the hard work Justin had been putting in, not fighting just didn't seem like an option anymore. He also expresses his gratitude toward Fiziev for traveling halfway around the world to take the fight. Embracing his role as the underdog, he mentioned that he thrives when people count him out, as it fuels his competitive drive. Justin acknowledged that every fighter at the elite level has that edge, noting that if you don't take things personally, you won't last long. When it comes to the fight itself, he was straightforward. It's all business. Either you're on his team or he's out to defeat you, though not literally, of course.
I got my ass knocked out last fight, and I'm dying to get back in there and get that back. At the end of the day, all these guys are very, very dangerous. And we went through our options. I wanted Tsarukyan or Oliveira, but if I was them, I would never take the fight, and I do not blame them for that. Moicano piped up and then did not take the fight. That was my best option. And then it was just not fight. And I've been working so hard that that really wasn't an option for me. He just said thank you. I'm grateful for him too. He was halfway across, or probably more than halfway across the world, however big the world is. But and he took the fight. He came over here, so I applaud him for that. And I love to perform, and I'm ready to perform. So I wasn't, I was trying to make it happen. It's crazy. I'm 6-3 as an underdog, so I love being the underdog. Every single one of us that get to this level is probably a petty motherfucker in a way.
Magomed Ankalaev recently revealed that he had to break his Ramadan fasting ahead of UFC 313, a move that sparked backlash from fans. While he had been observing the fast strictly since it began on February 28th, even sharing that abstaining from food had made him feel stronger in the UFC 313 countdown episode, he admitted in a recent interview with AG Fight that he had to ease up on the fast as fight night neared. With a tough weight cut ahead, Ankalaev explained that he needed to drink water to maintain optimal performance, which led him to break the fast a few times during the week leading up to the fight. Despite this, he emphasized that he had been fasting during Ramadan and would continue to follow the religious rules after the fight. This decision, however, didn't sit well with some fans, who criticized the move, feeling that it went against the spirit of Ramadan. Interestingly, Ankalaev's comments came just one day after Alex Pereira accused him of using his Ramadan fast for attention. Pereira suggested that Ankalaev might be setting up an excuse in case he comes up short this weekend at UFC 313. Who's your pick for the weekend, Magomed Ankalaev or Alex Pereira? Who do you think takes the win? Leave your comments below. That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for daily MMA news.